Hey, good morning, guys. I apologize. I am gone again for your classes. I am in another round of interviews. Hopefully, this will be the last one. I don't know for sure. Like I said, we're doing what we can to find what's right for Rock Springs High School. So hopefully, I will for sure be back tomorrow, unless some crazy thing happens like on Friday. But we do have another set of notes today, so I want to make sure I walk you through that and give you some clear instructions on what you need to do today. So please take out a piece of paper and a writing pencil and we'll get some notes done. So today we're looking at large numbers. The biggest thing I want you guys to understand about large numbers is once you have figured out the small numbers, so the tens, the ones and the tens, it's very similar. We had a little bit of vocabulary, but you still are using your tens and ones. It's just like in English. Once you know 45 and 63, you're going to add 200 in front of it. The 63 is still the same. So really, I'm just adding a little bit of vocabulary with the hundreds and then teaching you guys how to put it all together. So let's go over that vocabulary, and this is on your vocabulary sheet as well. So we have cien, that's cien is 100. This is 100 on the notes. There's no numbers after it. It's not 100 and something. No, it's just 100 is cien. Okay. If you have numbers after it, it changes to ciento. So, 102, 114, whatever it happens to be. So, those are two different words in Spanish. And I want you to kind of think of it as when we say 100 and, if you have cientos after it or ciento after it, it's the and. Because you absolutely cannot say ciento y catorce. You can't say 114 in Spanish. Just like technically you're not supposed to do it in English either. Next one is 200 is 200. 300 is 300. 400, 400, 500, 500, 600, 600. I think if you guys look at these very carefully, you will notice that you have your number like dos, and it's followed by cientos. Tres followed by cientos. Cuatro followed by cientos. Seis followed by cientos. And that is a typo. It should be Seiscientos. That is a typo. I apologize for that. The only one that's different is quinientos, and that's like quince. So you have your Q-U-I-N, and then your ientos. So you want to put a star next to 500. It's spelled slightly different. But otherwise, you kind of see that pattern there. Once you understand the ciento, you're just going to add it to your ones. Okay? And remember, if you guys need, just pause the video for a second. Make sure you get this written down. Okay. We also have 700. 800 and 900. Now you'll notice that 700 and 900 are also slightly different, but still kind of the same concept. 700, all you've done is taken out the I, so instead of 700, it's just 700. It's a very small change. And then 900, I can't explain it to you. They just changed the UE to an O. Okay, now, notice that all of these have both a masculine and feminine form. So I have both 800 with an AS after it, 800. The only time you can use a feminine form is when they are exactly on the dot that much. So for example, if I have 300 computers, since computers are feminine, computadoras, I would say 300 computadoras. If it was 365, absolutely cannot change it. It'd be 335 computadoras. So you can only make it feminine when it is exactly at that hundreds and you have a feminine item after it. Okay. Now, let's move on to the, well, actually, once you guys have the hundreds, everything after that is the same. So if I want to say 347, I'd say the word 300, 300, and then 47, 47. That's all it is. There's no E between it, there's no commas between it. You just say the hundreds position, and then your tens and ones. Super easy, right? Let's move on to the thousands. So to say 1,000, we use the word mil. You absolutely cannot ever, never put una in front of that word. So if you want to say 1,000, it's just mil. Okay? After that, you just put the number in front of it. So 2,000, 2 mil. 3,000, 3 mil. 4,000, 4 mil. That goes all the way up to the millions. So I can say 647,000, I would do my 600, so 600, 47 mil. That's all you got to do is add mil after it. Now you have thousands. Now, if you have more numbers after that, so say I have 3,232, It'd be 3,232. So again, after your thousand, 3,000, you just keep going with what you have. Again, there's no e's, there's no commas, nothing like that. You just put it all together. All right? So it's kind of looking at individual numbers. So you look at your thousands, then you look at your hundreds, then you look at your tens and ones. All right? Once you've finished your thousands, and remember this can go all the way up to 999,999. It's done the exact same way. Then once you move on, you go to the word millón. Millón is Spanish for million. So that's M-I-L-L-O with a tilde N. You can use the word un in front of millón. So for example, un millón de personas, 1 million people. However, once you start adding numbers to it, unlike the thousands, right, we don't say 3,000s, we don't make it plural, but we do make million plural. So the plural for million is millones. Notice the rule still applies. Since we added es to the end of this, you have to remove your tilde. Okay, so it's M-I-L-L-O-N-E-S, no tilde. So then you have 2 millones, 3 millones, 4 millones, just like we did with the thousands. You put whatever number it is followed by millones. So 13 million, 3 millones. Okay? And after that, same thing as always. So you can have 13,223,000, and you do it that same way. 13 millones, 200 and whatever mil. Okay? You still build it. You start with your biggest one. After your millions, you put millones. Then you do all that. You add your 1,000. Then you have your hundreds, tens, ones. Yes? Again, I'm going to say it 1,000 times. You cannot say E anywhere in this. You can't say and. We do that in English. It is grammatically incorrect. Please don't do that in Spanish. You absolutely cannot. Please don't learn that bad habit in another language. Okay? So far, so easy? Okay. Last thing I want to kind of talk about. In Spanish, they do something weird with their commas and periods. So when we write a number, we put the thousands, comma, number, dot, and then we have our decimals, right? In Spanish, they switch those. So you'd say 1,000 dot, hundreds, tens, ones, comma, and then the cents. The only reason you need to know this is like on your tests and things like that, I'm going to use the dot, because that's the way you need to be able to read it. Yes? So just be aware that they switch the period and the comma, okay? And that's all the way up to the millions. It's still going to be million dot, thousands dot, and then the comma. Why? I don't know. It just is, okay? So last thing I have for you is some practice. So go ahead and write the following numbers out in Spanish. And I want the whole words written out. Check your spelling. Remember, I had a few typos on the beginning slide. So go ahead and pause the video right here for a second, and I will go over the answers. Okay, so number one, you should have 365. So number two would be 623. And remember, if you want to spell 23 out, so it's 23, that is the only time you can use the E, okay? It's between the tens and the ones position. Otherwise, I don't want to see it. Number three, 2,785. I forgot my E there. That's my bad. I apologize. Number four, 5,978. Number five, 9,541. And number six, 4,252. Now, the biggest thing with this, guys, is to practice your spelling. You need to make sure you go back and you know your tens, right? Some of you are still confusing like your 40s, 60s, 70s. So go back and make sure you know how to spell those. And then make sure you study your hundreds, because some of them, 500, 700, 900 have weird spellings. So make sure you're studying your spelling. This is going to be on the final exam. If you have any questions, I should be here after school today. And I will be here the rest of the week after school for at least a half hour. I have a couple doctor's appointments here and there. But the only other thing I have for you today, you do have this homework assignment. Okay, I want to walk you through it really quick. All of the things I just went over are right here. Okay. On part A, you are just putting the numerals for these numbers. Okay. So it says 100,000. You need to write out what numbers that would be. Okay. Part B, you're doing the opposite. You're going to have to write out the numbers in words. If you don't have enough space, attach a piece of paper. Down here, it says complete each sentence with the correct form of ciento or cien. Okay? So all you have to do is, like this one, 70 plus 30 it'd be cien, because it's right on the nose. Down here it says, I live on street blank, and after it is a number, so it has to be ciento, even though that isn't your address. Okay, so you're just looking to see if there's numbers after it, or if it's 100 on the dot. I guess it starts down here. Part D, you're doing math. You just have to write the answers in Spanish. Just the answers. You don't have to write out the whole equation, just the answers. Okay? You are going to skip Part E. Do not do Part E. Okay? Skip Part E. And then Part F, you just need to write the word in Spanish. So they have already italicized it for you. So number 1 says 10,000 inhabitants. You just need to write 10,000 out in Spanish in words. Okay? Don't forget, you still have your interactive notebook you can be working on. You also have your project you can be working on. I will be back tomorrow. We'll be playing some games and doing some stuff to make sure you guys understand all this. So if you have any questions, any concerns, you can always email me. I've been really watching my emails to make sure if anyone has any questions. Or you can catch me tomorrow before school. So thanks. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.